At least one protester is shot and critically injured during the second night of unrest in Charlotte, North Carolina. Plus, why dozens of people are camping outside of a restaurant in Moline.
WHBF is local for you. This is Local 4 News this morning.
Good morning, and thanks for watching Local 4 News this morning. I'm Emily Scarlett. This morning, the city of Charlotte, North Carolina is under a state of emergency. Anger over Keith Scott's death at the hands of a police officer fueled a second night of violent protests there. At least 4 officers were injured and 1 protester shot. Don Champion has the latest from Charlotte.
The chaos in Charlotte stretched well into the overnight hours as protesters faced off with heavily armed officers. Tear gas filled the air and at least 1 flashbang exploded as officers moved in to clear the streets. The scene played out as anger over the deadly police shooting of Keith Scott spilled onto the streets for a second night. Some demonstrators were arrested peacefully, but damage to businesses and stores in Charlotte's vibrant uptown area mounted. Windows were smashed, even at the Spectrum Sports Arena.
Justice justify everything. If you give the black man justice in accordance to the laws of the land, there'd be no need for this.
At one point, a man was shot in the head by another civilian, drawing raw emotion from this protester.
We came out here for peace. This is not how we succeed. I was wiping off his blood. I was sitting right next to him. There was no life in his eyes.
Fueling the unrest, the different narratives of what led up to Keith Scott's death Tuesday.
I want people to know that we are going to make sure that our investigation is thorough and it's transparent.
Police say the 43-year-old ignored repeated demands to drop a gun when they confronted him at this apartment complex, but family members insist he was holding a book, not a weapon. Don Champion, CBS News, Charlotte.
Presidential candidates Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump are both weighing in the wake of recent police shootings. Local 4 News is your local election headquarters.
We have 2 more names to add to a list of African Americans killed by police officers in these encounters. It's unbearable.
That man was hands up. That man went to the car, hands up, put his hand on the car. I mean, to me, it looked like he did everything you're supposed to do.
Trump's remarks came during a gathering of pastors in Ohio. The latest polling shows him ahead of Clinton there by 5 points. Clinton spent the day in Florida. She'll take the rest of the week off for the candidates' first debate, which is Monday. Investigators have released a surveillance camera photo of 2 men they'd like to question in connection to the weekend bombings in New York and New Jersey. The potential witnesses apparently grabbed a suitcase containing a pressure cooker bomb in New York City Saturday, but left the device behind. Ahmaud Rahami now faces federal terrorism charges for allegedly detonating a bomb in the city that day and another in Seaside Park. The Rock Island County Sheriff's Department want to make sure they can handle any situation. Yesterday, their SWAT team practiced for an active shooter on a bus. Local 4's Greta Patrick takes us inside that training session.
Surrounding a bus, forcing the doors open and taking down the bad guy. It was all a simulation, complete with normal people playing the passengers.
Even though it was like a fake, just a drill, it was actually kind of nerve-wracking being on the bus when the guys, yelling at you, SWAT's coming in yelling to put your hands down.
This is the first time Metrolink has hosted the Rock Island County Sheriff's Department for an active shooter drill. Lieutenant Matthew DeSmiter says it's the SWAT team's job to expect the best, but be prepared for the worst.
The potential for something like this to happen on a Metrolink bus is always there. We hope it never does happen, but we want to be prepared to handle and help the community any way we can.
It was Metrolink that approached the Rock Island County Sheriff's Office to do the drill. The buses carry 10,000 passengers a day, so safety is a top priority.
Any other injuries?
When we partner with local law enforcement, we give them the opportunity to be better trained in how to approach a bus if an active shooting incident were to occur.
The Rock Island County Sheriff's Department SWAT team trains for emergency situations every month. But when they bring civilians to the drills, it helps the team work on lowering stress levels too.
I know that sometimes people may be intimidated when they see a bunch of SWAT officers coming up with all the equipment and stuff, but SWAT's goal is to save lives.
The end goal, keeping the officers and the passengers safe during the worst-case scenario. Greta Patrick, Local 4 News.
Thanks for that, Greta. The Sheriff's Department trains for emergency situations in many places, including office buildings and schools. Tonight, you can help preserve Quad Cities parks and pick up some high-end accessories. The Purses for Parks fundraiser takes place at City View Celebrations in Moline. The event, which raises money to repair the Riverside tennis courts, begins at 5 o'clock with hors d'oeuvres and a silent auction. That's followed by a live auction at 7. You can bid on high-end purses and accessories from names like Coach, Michael Kors, and Kate Spade. The cost to attend is $30. Pre-registration is required. The Quad Cities' newest restaurant opens later this morning, but eager diners have been lined up for more than a day. Doors to the new Chick-fil-A restaurant in Moline are set to open in about 20 minutes at 6:30. People started setting up camp early Wednesday morning to take advantage of a special grand opening offer. The restaurant is giving away a year's supply of Chick-fil-A meals to the first 100 people in line. Those waiting say it's well worth it.
On the average workday, I stand to make around $180, and there's $350 worth of chicken up for grabs, so a man's got to eat, right?
Makes sense when he breaks it down. But if you aren't already in line, it's too late to get the year's supply of meals. The number of people in line reached 100 by 10 last night. Let's check in with meteorologist Anthony Peoples on this Friday Eve or Thursday morning. Anthony, I was thinking I could go and jump in line after the show here, but I'm too late.
Emily, maybe you can use that whole press thing. Everybody thinks the media has all this access. Just sneak your way in there and just...
I just don't know if that'll work for me, Anthony. They've got people that have been waiting in line for 24 hours now. They want those free meals.
Yeah, and I guess, you know, if you're going to be camping out, you still want summer-like weather, and that's what they're having out there early this morning.
Yeah, surprising because we're just a few hours away from the fall season.
Fall begins at 9:21, but look off to my northwest here. We are seeing some showers and storms dropping into the Waterloo area. And, you know, yesterday we were watching these showers and storms drop out of Minnesota and Wisconsin through northern Iowa and expected most of them to stay to the north. Yet Davenport, you picked up 2/100ths of an inch of rain yesterday. We had some very heavy rain to move through parts of Whiteside, Carroll, and even into Bureau and Stark counties yesterday. So I'm thinking that even though these storms are to the north and that's where the bulk of the rain will be falling this morning, I'm thinking that some of these might creep their way into the Quad Cities this morning. Here's our pinpoint Doppler radar, and let's zoom in and show you some of that very heavy rain now pushing into the Waterloo area. Yesterday, parts of Wisconsin, Minnesota picked up 5 to 8 inches of rain. I'm thinking there could be some flash flooding up this way, and you can see that extends up into Wisconsin. So we have showers and storms in our forecast this morning. 67 our current temperature, southeast winds at 5 miles per hour. Kids heading off to school, we'll see mainly scattered showers and storms and heavy rain to the north. Some of those might make it to the Quad Cities, but then by the time we head into the afternoon hours, it's going to be very warm across the area. High temperature 86, and the average high this time of the year is 74, so that's well above average.
Well above average on the first day of fall. How's that, Anthony?
Yeah, so, you know, if you like this summer-like weather, good news, it's going to stick around. If you're ready for the fall-like weather, stick around too, just a little bit longer.
All right, thanks for that, Anthony. You can adopt a pet for free. The Quad City Animal Welfare Center is hosting a Clear the Shelter event this weekend, and they got our Pet of the Week next.
Very adorable. The time now is 6:10. You're watching Local 4 News this morning.
WHBF is local for you with Emily Scarlett and meteorologist Anthony Peoples. This is Local 4 News this morning in high definition.